Game face.
1, 2, 3.
So in between last episode and this episode, on my own time, I worked on the drum track for Who I Am. So what is this? We're in the studio. Listening to Who I Am. That was really the last thing that we had to work on to say that was done for the most part. We will go back and just put some final touches on it. But I did work on the drum track. That took quite a while, but we got it to where we want it for the most part. Later on, we'll go to a studio and record actual drums, but for the demo, this will be fine. Me rocking my guitar solo. I customized the MIDI drummer in Logic to get the drums that we finally put in there. But after that was done, I went over to the studio really quick to hand off the drummer file for Chris, the producer. So after we got that out of the way and we did a few tweaks to the song, we said that it was done for the most part, and we decided that it was time to move on to Hello, which brings us to day 7.
I used my red Yamaha. There were parts in the beginning of the song that were supposed to alternate, go back from me to John to me to John, and then they would come together and the tracks would double throughout the entire song until the very end when we go back and forth again. So I went in, I recorded that in 40-45 minutes.
Yeah, it wasn't too long. Yeah.
The click just went away.
Yeah, you turned the click on. Sorry. Sorry.
You do that every time.
It's my mistakes that involve not knowing the freaking song I've come here to record.
I stepped out, and then John stepped in. And, tell him what happened there, John?
It didn't go too well. So he ended up having to go back in and play the second part of the acoustics as well. But he played what I was playing with the slight different characteristic to it. Fun fact moment here. We didn't have the middle part, the bridge part that really builds. We didn't have that part even written until about 2 days before we went to the studio. And we didn't have a time to practice it or anything.
That took me about 80,000 years
yes.
to finish and 80,000 takes. I had to have Holden and Jonathan standing outside the studio looking at me through the little glass window, counting me through the times because I would keep losing track.
If you go back and listen to the acoustic demo of Hello that we did, which you can watch right here, we actually don't have that part in there. And that wasn't because we decided to go over it, or like skip over it because it was acoustic. That was because we just didn't have it written at that part, at that point in time. So when we got into the studio, we finally had to like sit down and think, how are we going to do this? When is this track coming in? When is this track coming out? How are we going to layer this all together? That didn't take too long. That only took a few hours, maybe two or three. So we ended up leaving pretty early for that night.
1, 2, here we go.
various reasons, Zane couldn't make it to the studio for a few days, so I had to basically record all of the electrics on my own. So day 8 is technically really day 8, 9, and I believe 10. I think there's 3 weeks that he didn't show up. But we're all just condensing it into day 8. So I recorded all the electric parts, and we started off with all of the rhythm. And the rhythm went smashingly. It was great. I think I messed up once, and then other than that, we went from beginning to end, beginning to that bridge part, and we did that in one take. Like, I nailed that.
Yeah.
Same story for the last half. We just left that bridge part for the end. That was the last thing that we were going to do because we had to switch sounds and that sort of thing. And so once we got that out of the way, we moved to some leads. The first lead that we attempted to record, was the lead for the chorus, which from conception to final version underwent a lot of changes, but I didn't have that part written completely out either when we were recording it, so it took a little bit of time. And by a little bit of time, I mean it took about 16 takes one day, and then we were like, yeah, we're gonna do it the next day. It took another 16 takes, and then we finally got it.
I'm sorry.
Hello. No, I'm not laughing. Don't. We're gonna listen. You're sort of playing like a unique version of acid jazz. It's sort of the acid where acid jazz makes you want to throw a jar of acid in the face of the performer. Yeah, alright, cool. Hold 45!
Oh.
If you're gonna make t-shirts, that's what you need. Also, I think I neglected to refer to Zane as like a Zaniac. I don't know if anyone's ever done that.
So it took quite a while, but I finally got it, and then we moved on to the first leads. Now, the first leads aren't that hard. It's basically tremolo picking the root note of the chords as the chords progress through the song.
I like it with if we make it quieter, yeah, I guess. The reason why I wanted the octave higher on the second one was just because it built it a little bit
Okay,
better
alright.
the song. But
I think that is the take though. That lower octave, like, it's pretty good.
yeah,
But after we finished that, we went straight into the bridge, and the bridge we had to change up sounds, and it took a little while to set up, but we finally figured out something that we were really happy with. The rhythm part, the part that Zane tracked with the acoustics, I ended up tracking with the electrics. The very beginning's a very light chugging, and by the time you get to the end, where it's just full blown, it has a very heavy grit, and it's just in your face. One of the things that we really wanted to do with this song was have multiple layers on different sides of the stereo, so every time you listen to the song, you would hear something different. That was one of the ideas that we had going into the song, and I feel like we did a great job with that. So one of the reasons why it did take so long for Who I Am but not Hello was because Who I Am was a big learning curve, and we've been saying this a lot through our last few videos, that this has been a giant learning curve for us because this is our first studio experience. Also because we didn't know our studio sound as a band. Our band has a certain sound, a different sound than all the other bands, and that's the same story with every single band that you hear or you find or you see or whatever. And you gain that sound from a lot of either playing live shows or going to the studio. Since we haven't been playing a whole lot of live shows, we had to find it in the studio. So that definitely did take a while for Who I Am, so there's a lot of retakes. But one of the things that I noticed for Hello, especially during the electrics when I went in to record that, was we already had a platform to go off of. We learned so much in Who I Am from all the sounds and tones that we wanted, all the equipment that worked well with our style of playing. We learned all that in Who I Am, that when we went into Hello, we already had that platform to work on. So going in, we didn't have to figure out this is the sound that works, this is the sound that doesn't work. We already knew. The only creative decisions we had to make were how do we take this part that we already have and give it more of a characteristic. That'll be the same story for the rest of the songs. So where it only takes 1, maybe 2 episodes to get through Hello, it should only take 1 or 2 episodes to get through the following songs, hopefully, because we already have that that ground to work off of. So we're also going to go back and put the final touches on Who I Am, but between the bass and those final touches, it should only be maybe 1 or 2 days, so just 1 episode to get caught up on the rest of that. So it shouldn't be too long. Maybe we'll do what we did on this week, where we just compiled a few days into just one, where it was really 8, 9, and 10, but we just put it in 8 anyways.
Like put in the car, you like to flip the switch.
Yeah. Destruction.
Yeah, it sounds rock and roll, man.
So this has been another great episode of our behind the scenes journey. But guys, this doesn't have to be it for you. You can also follow us on
Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Indeed,
where you can keep up with the latest band news, as well as when we're going to drop other videos on this channel.
Another way to know when we drop videos is to subscribe right down here to our channel. It's that red button right below this video. It's not that hard, guys. Just one click, one click. I also know that we have some great content in store for you guys, so you won't want to miss it. Right down here. Subscribe.
Alright, you guys, again, thank you so much for stopping by, checking out the video, checking out the channel. My name is Zane Henley Beasley.
My name's Jonathan Holt.
And we are
The Theory of Us. Teist. Taste. Taste. Who I am. Who I am.
We just have to get you in, like, right before Zane says game face, and then it's 4 beats after game face. Thanks, Zane. Finally, the dumbassery and buffoonery paid off.
Hey man, welcome to our Jammy Jam session.
Wait, Jammy Jam session? Is that what you're like your pajamas?
Yeah.
Put on?
Yeah, go for it.
And then he didn't show up today. It just kind of kicks me out.
Yeah, well.
It's okay, we'll actually get something accomplished. Hold for edit.
We got 20 minutes.
Family Jamma.
Got 20 minutes. I didn't do it.
It wasn't me! You got boot on your car, man! Oh, yeah, I can't leave, and that's when I breathe.
Go.
Spirit of radio, crackles with light. Why do I sing like this? Probably because I'm Canadian.